Hey, I'm TheLoopyAlchemist, and welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim. Well, it's been a while, and I really do apologize for the 1 month delays that's getting to be basically standard between these LP episodes now, but in between writing scholarships for university and prepping for an AP exam, and a whole bunch of other stuff, I just really have not had the time. But I'm nearly done, so hopefully I'll have a lot more free time to work on these things later on, and finally get another lore episode out, which is long overdue by now. But don't worry, I've still got plans, and I'm going to... Basically what I'm saying is, I am not done yet. Also, I wouldn't mind branching out a bit more and doing some different kind of videos, like just more stupid stuff. Like, I'd like to start doing a couple top 10 lists. So maybe post in the comments if you'll be interested in that, or just anything else you'd really like to see. But I retain my veto power. I'm not going to do anything stupid. Well, or stupider than the stuff I already do. Alright, well, we haven't had a question in a long time, so the one today is, if you had to be exiled from Tamriel onto another continent, which one would you choose? Honestly, that's a tough one, because, I mean, Tamriel has its issues, but it is paradise compared to everything else, because, first off, Yokuda, as far as we know, is completely destroyed. I mean, as I did mention in the lore episode on that, there is a bit of circumstantial evidence, not much, but a bit, that suggests there might be some rocks poking out of the sea where it once was, maybe an isolated island at best, but definitely not too much. Certainly I can't imagine it being very nice to live. So, again, we can basically just assume it's not there, so that crosses that one off the list. We've got Atmora, which is completely frozen over. Although I haven't been able to find, like, a definite source tracing to it, there seems to be some indication, or at least this is the impression I got when doing the research for the Atmora episode, that at some point the Imperial government has actually sent an expedition up there, and they've charted a bit of it, but haven't really found anything. At one point it was heavily forested and did have cities. The only city we know of was Jilkafurk or something. Again, I've just given up on the pronunciations in the Elder Scrolls lore universe, so feel free to complain in the comments all you want about that one. So at best you might be able to find a couple ruins, probably really creepy ones, but who knows if there is any wildlife that could sustain you up there. You'd probably have to pack all your stuff. As for shelter, I mean, I can't imagine any ruins being, well, really offering that much in the way of protection from the elements. You'd probably be best off building your own one, like maybe kind of like an igloo type thing. You'd probably be able to survive up there if you were really smart about how you use the terrain, got lucky, and packed enough of your own supplies, but I can't imagine it being a very nice place to live. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Pandane, or Pandania, again, pronunciations. Lighten up, people. Which actually sounds very nice climate-wise. I mean, personally, I don't like hot weather, but I'd take tropical beaches over freezing to death in Atmora any day. So, of course, Pandane is the coral kingdom, well, that's what it's also called, of the Meromir, or Sea Elves, which are historically not too friendly towards anyone. Now, of course, as the inscriptions tell us on the now-destroyed Crystal Tower, they were exiled from Eldmaris. They live there. It's kind of like an island chain. They have very powerful magic, control over the weather. Sea serpents, bear in mind all of our info comes from one failed Altmeri expedition. Again, an entire episode was done on this, where an entire fleet except one boat gets destroyed, and that one boat makes it back to the Somerset Isles, and that is all the info we have on it. So I guess how you'd really rank Pandane is, if the locals are friendly towards you, you'd probably have a great time there. But if they're hostile, which chances are they will be considering that the Merimur have been raiding the crap out of Pandane and Valenwood for most of their history, I would really not bank on it. But it's not entirely out of the question, because at one point their king actually did see the Wolf Queen of Solitude, like actually physically went to Solitude, as part of a diplomatic mission. So clearly they can be negotiated with, but bear in mind their king was negotiating with the Wolf Queen. So yeah, he's probably not the nicest guy in the world. But who knows, you could do it. But still, I would be feeling pretty nervous being there. But that being said, it's still a lot better than Thros. Now, Thros, I think a destroyed Yokuda, like anything beats Thros. It is an absolute dump. Again, for those of you who don't know, it's where the I cannot for the life of the Slowed! Those necromancer slug things that unleashed the Throssian plague, which by some sources killed 50% of Tamriel's population. And also the descriptions of Thros really aren't pretty, like a swampy, shifting, not seismically stable volcanic isle that actually has a direct portal to Oblivion. So yeah, you're not going to want to go there under any circumstances. Technically, we have Eldamaris, but since it doesn't currently exist on this plane by most estimations, and according to some theories, never actually existed on Tamriel at all, it's just a reflection from a previous world, I don't really know what to think about Eldamaris, admittedly, just because there's so little info on it, but I feel like at some point there had to be an actual continent, because that's how we get the spread of the elves, how they split. The one rogue group gets exiled to Pandane, the rest go to the Somerset Isles, and then some go to Tamriel, and they split up into all the different races of elves we have today. So yeah, Eldamaris, I'm thinking at some point had to be a real place, but for whatever reason doesn't exist now, stopped existing, and who knows, maybe there's elves still there. I mean, the Isle of Ereteum, I think that's the isle that the Sigic Order is based on. It disappears and reappears, so who's to say Eldamaris doesn't do that, which, who knows, it might, and that would make a really cool thing for another game, or whatever. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. As the homeland of the elves, it would probably be nice enough, but you'd probably have a bit of culture shock being there, considering it's all elven, and if it's like the original elf homeland, things would be different, but it's better than Thros. Well, they're not exactly continents. We do have a couple of smaller islands kind of hanging around Tamriel. There's a bunch of them, but the only ones I'm going to name are Roscrea and Black Harbor. Now, basically nothing is known about these islands, but we do know that Uriel Septim V actually led expeditions to them and conquered them, but in kind of preparation for his lead up to his failed invasion of Akvir. He was establishing forward bases on them, like especially Black Harbor. That's where he built a massive port facility, and we don't know what kind of shape these facilities are in today. I'm kind of guessing that the Empire withdrew from them after the disaster at Ionith, but even if the Imperial government isn't still present there, there might still be villages and actual humans living on them. And honestly, I'd want to check them out first, but I could consider living there. It would definitely be a touch of something different. And then, of course, we have Akvir, which I think almost everyone who's really into the Elder Scrolls lore has just an absolute morbid fascination with this place, because it has it all. It's so alien, we've got the most details on it, but we've just got enough to have a bit of an image, and we have to keep constantly second-guessing all of the info that we do have on it, and who knows how accurate it is. But it does look to be comparable in size to Tamriel. We of course have it being divided into 4 nations. The Capotung, the Tagger people things, the Tzeki, the so-called blood-sucking golden serpents, who may or may not be men, or who may have actually eaten all the men on Akvir at some point. We have the Kamal, snow demons in the north, and the Tangmo, friendly monkey people. So there we go right there. We know that the Tangmo are probably your best bet in terms of actually living with a native race there. As for what I'd pick, honestly, Akavir is extremely tempting just to see what it's like over there. You could go track down the Nerevarine, you could see if the Tzeki are really vampire snakes, and really answer all the mysteries, and most importantly, just solve what exactly happened at Ionith, and maybe see if there's still ruins of that. That would be insanely cool. But yeah, that's basically predicated on if you've got a nice home base with friendly people, like, say, the Tangmo. If you could never leave, I'd maybe pick Paandane. Like, if I could get in good with the local Marimar there. And if Black Harbor still had, like, a resident human population, or any of the other islands, and maybe even some Imperial forces defending it, honestly, I think I'd probably play it safe and go there. But again, I have to reiterate, the chances of any people, let alone Imperial forces, being on those islands is pretty doubtful, just because, I mean, we don't see them on any contemporary map of the Empire, and it seems like during the Great War they would have recalled all the forces stationed there. But who knows? You could almost use the logic both ways, as in you don't want any retribution from Akavir, so you get everyone back to Tamriel, villagers or civilians, whatever's on that island included. But you could also use the logic that it's like an early warning station for, say, another invasion, so it might be worth the expense and manpower to keep over there. Honestly, that's what I would probably do, but that's just me. It's up in the air. We don't have any info, so who knows. But be sure to let me know what you guys would pick. And, man, I've really walked into the wrong town. Well, in case you guys haven't exactly picked up on it, we are going to do some fairly nefarious business here, and by that I mean we are going to kill Grelog the Kind. Because she has kind in her name, and she's not kind. So, we have officially become the Skyrim Enforcement of False Advertising Team Trans-Governmental Panel Task Force. Or whatever, yeah, that's... whatever. Someone name our team in the comments, and that's what we're going to call ourselves from now on. But, yeah, the kid asked us to do it. Apparently we're the Dark Brotherhood or something like that. And we are just going to perch on top of this picnic table. And I think we're going to use a bow for this. Even though I just equipped my shield for some reason, and there it is, okay. Just gonna take aim, and... wow, that was a nice shot. Okay, cool. And I got away without any consequences. You know, this has been a pretty good day. We've talked about other continents, and we killed some lady who was being mean to kids. All in all, pretty successful. You know, they don't really mention, yeah, I almost wonder why Riften is the only town with an orphanage in Skyrim. Like, with all the bandits and wars, you'd think each, city would have its own, especially when transporting things on the roads is so long and so dangerous. Just a sec, my cat's on my bookcase. Okay, sorry about that. I mean, I can pause the audio track for stuff like that, but it's Still really annoying when I get paused mid-train of thought. But yeah, he just jumped up there for no good reason. I mean, it's been like an hour since he's fed him. Oh, damn it, he just did it again. Stay away from my skooma! Good lord, I know it's nice outside, but you always run away. So I just can't spend my entire day chasing after you. I am really sorry about this. I could cut all that out and redo the commentary, but, I mean, it's been so long, I just want to get this episode up to let people know that I haven't fallen off the face of the earth. For all of you who've been subscribed for a long time and are still subscribing, I cannot thank you enough for the support. You guys are the best, and I really want to get back to more regular content. So, yeah. And okay, now that we've got that business taken care of, I think we're going to call it a day and head back to Whiterun. There it is. Took me a while to find it. Would you guys do skooma if you're in Skyrim? I mean, you have to try everything once, but then again, you get... I wonder, is skooma actually technically illegal? And by the way, I'm joking, of course you wouldn't want to try that, but I don't know, that's never anything I've really looked into in the lore. Like, I know when I was doing the research for the Kanahatan flu, or Nahatan flu, again, the pronunciations with you people, I just do not understand the obsession with it. Khajiits use it as part of a religious ritual to get visions, and they have a higher tolerance towards it than other races, but as far as if the substance is actually banned in other provinces, I've never looked into it, and I cannot research it right now when I'm doing commentary. So, and I'm probably going to forget about it after like 5 minutes. So if anyone wants to let me know, that would be very much appreciated. Well, huh. Oh, they know. Great, they can pay me. I don't do work for free. Alright, well, we are just going to go see if we can find a bed, so we'll be safe from the Dark Brotherhood kidnapping us and trying to make us do a bunch of crazy stuff, because hotels are always safe. Remember that, kids. One thing I've noticed in between Skyrim and Oblivion is in Oblivion they tried to make everything super noble, like the Thieves Guild was helping the poor, and in the Dark Brotherhood quest line, you're actually killing members of the Black Hand or whatever, higher-ups within the organization. In Skyrim they kinda threw all that stuff out the window. I mean, as much as I love the Dark Brotherhood, they're pretty bad in this game.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess that's... Well, yeah, I'm going to bed. I'm TheLoopyAlchemist, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.